lovely Lenexa, Kansas, here at the Shawnee Mission School District Aquatic Center, home of the 2021 Boys Swimming and Diving State Championship. You're watching the 6A diving. You just finished watching the 6A diving semifinals, and as we await the announcement of the finalists, that'll each have 3 more dives. And after that, then, they will move on right into the swimming portion of these championships. Sean Brewer, Hall of Fame coach Bruce Bove here with you. Appreciate you.
I'm sorry, 2 optional dives, 1 voluntary.
Carson Kinch out of Olathe East is up next. Also had a real good performance so far here in the championship. After earning himself a spot in the finals. Good dive by Carson Kinch. That was a 2.2 DD. Forward 1.5 somersault. Going to give him a total score so far of 335.55. After 9 dives.
Yeah.
Carson Kinch out of Olathe East is up next. 335 points. For his first dives of the day. Total of 11 rounds. We're in round 10, about halfway through. Carson Kinch out of Olathe East.
That was a nice dive, too.
Dive.
That's going to score well.
2.2 DD. Came in with 335 point total. This Carson Kinch.
Some 8s.
And
8s
how about
in there,
that?
7.5s. Yeah.
Carson trying to get that twist around. You said earlier today that it takes an amazing amount of abdominal, or kind of that middle section strength to pull those off.
Lost that a long time ago.
You and me both, my friend. As I reach for my Chick-fil-A sandwich and my chocolate brownie that we've graciously been offered here.
Does he know what he's talking about?
That he does. It's Carson Kinch out of Olathe East.
That's going to score real high for him. He didn't get his legs quite out. Not as high as I thought.
5 and 6.5. Total of about 438. Within the next couple of minutes here, at least announcing them. I'll be sure to let you know how that all shakes out.
Okay, here we are, boys premier diving. 8th place, Caleb Clayton.
8th place, Caleb Clayton.
7th place, Ryan Acton, Hayesville campus. 6th place, Braden Roberts, Shawnee Mission East. 5th place, Elliot Albers, Lawrence Free State. 4th place, Tate Harrison, Wichita Heights. 3rd place, Carson Kinch, Olathe East. 2nd place, Spencer Ian, Blue Valley North. And your state champion is Charlie Matthews, Olathe East High School.
For those of you that were able to hear, in 8th place, and really for those of you that weren't, 8th place is Ryan Ecton out of Campus High, and this is in the diving championships. 7th place, the diving goes to, or I beg your pardon, Ryan Ecton there. 7th place. Let's see what they're putting up here. Caleb Clayton. Caleb Clayton's going to be the one coming in 8th place. 7th is Ryan Ecton. 6th place, Braden Roberts out of Shawnee Mission East. 5th place goes to Elliot Alvers. And despite basically a scratch on his last dive, was able to come up with a 5th place finish out of Lawrence Free State. Very impressive for that young man. Fourth place goes to Tate Harrison out of Wichita Heights. Carson Kinch out of Olathe East brings in third place. And second place, Spencer Ian out of Blue Valley North. And your champion, the 2021 Kansas State diving champion, is Charlie Matthews out of Olathe East with over 446 points across his 11 dives here at the Shawnee Mission District Aquatic Center in lovely Lenexa, Kansas. Third place team, Shawnee Mission East. Woo. The Lancers of Shawnee Mission East coming in at third place. Olathe East, the Hawks, with 252 points. And your first place championship team here in Kansas 6A state championship action, Blue Valley West. Am I supposed to hold that? Is this supposed to be kind of a suspenseful thing? I'm pretty sure it's kind of a foregone conclusion, but nonetheless.
Well, it's remarkable Shawnee Mission East was able to get in there, that relay being disqualified.
Right. Absolutely, yeah.
Shows, you know, he had his kids ready.
Olathe East with 252 points. Congratulations, Olathe East.
And the pirate flags are flying for those Hawks of Olathe East. And as we await the official announcement of your 2021 state championship team here in Class 6A, just want to say thanks.
Blue Valley West.
Blue Valley West.
Well, by how many points?
Yeah, exactly. Once again, just certainly want to thank Coach Bove, Hall of Fame coach Bove, for helping us through today with both diving and swimming. Been an honor and a privilege to be with you here.
Same with me.
And hopefully we can do it again. Yeah. Appreciate the good work of everybody back at the A10 Mothership and David Trimble here. We thanked him before, but they're worth thanking again, and that's all the people that help make a production like this happen. Not just one or two people, but certainly takes a whole army of folks to pull something like this off. And we're still waiting for the official announcement of the first place team.
Where we're getting pictures of each team on the awards stand.
Oh, we're almost there. And a shocker. Blue Valley West with 331 points is your first place Kansas Class 6A championship team in 2021.
Back-to-back titles.
The Jaguars getting it done. 331 points. Absolutely impressive. What a treat this has been. Well, my name's Sean Brewer on behalf of David Trimble and Coach Bo. We appreciate you joining us here on NFHS, an 810varsity.com production. Hope you join us again tomorrow for the Kansas 5A State Dive Swim Championships right here at the Shawnee Mission School District Aquatic Center in lovely Lenexa, Kansas. Until then, signing.
Diving first, Elliott will be doing. Inward dive pike. His total score now is 354.10. Bryce Faulkner from Olathe South doing a back somersault with 1 1/2 twist. Degree of difficulty 2.3. His scores are 5.5, 6, 4.5, 5, 3, 2.5, 4.5. Henry Cecil from Shawnee Mission East will be doing a reverse dive straight, 1.8. I just put that up. I don't know. Seven, 5.5, 5.5, 5.5, 5.5, 5, 6. Charlie Matthews, forward somersault, 2 twists. 6.5, 5.5, 6.5, 6, 6.5, 6.57.
362 points for Charlie Matthews after his previous 8 and now the 9th. Of course, we're into the final 3 dives of the competition. Cumulative scores continue to add from the dives earlier in the day. In other words, you don't reset for the final 3. You just keep on going. Michael Leonard.
Double twisting somersault, back somersault, 1.5.
Was sitting at 255.30. Tyler Welch out of Shawnee Mission South up next. Welch is
2.5.
Real good championship here. Coming in with 271.25 point total. Make that 318.05. 6.5 for his average score. It's like a lot of these judges' scores, Coach, are starting to kind of level off here.
Yeah. And this is where you'll see some big mistakes occurring.
Braden Roberts' degree difficulty on that dive was 1.6. Was it 288.85?
Every diver will do 2 voluntary dives and, 2 optional dives, 1 voluntary.
Carson Kinch out of Olathe East is up next. Also had a real good performance so far here in the championship. After earning himself a spot in the finals. Good dive by Carson Kinch. That was a 2.2 DD. Forward 1.5 somersault. Going to give him a total score so far of 335.55. After 9 dives. Next up is Markel Russell out of Washburn Rural. Russell's dive is going to have a DD of 1.9. Markel likes to take his time. Coach, as you said earlier today, a lot of visualization going on by these divers. Forward somersault with a twist. Came in with a point total of 242.55. Now he's at 272 even. And a 5 1/4 average there. Yeah, Crawford out of Lawrence High, Chesty Lion.
If he gets this one in, that'll be a lot of points for him. Did a pretty good job on it.
Yeah, Crawford.
5.5, 6s, maybe a little bit higher.
Sitting at 286.35 after 9 dives. Yeah, Crawford. Tate Harrison is up next. He's out of Wichita Heights. Had an outstanding first 9 dives, just shy 300. Looking to add to that now. Tate Harrison. This dive by Tate Harrison, 2.3 degree of difficulty. Great scores, bounces him up to 329.25 after 9. Caleb Clayton out of Wichita Northwest up next, came in with a 249-point score to qualify for the final round. It's first of 3 dives here in the final round. Cumulative totals to determine the top 8. 2.2 DD on that dive for that inward 1.5 somersault. Respectable scores, pushes him up to 286.80. Jade Joseph, 2.2 on DD for this dive. 255.25 is his score after 8. Out of Campus High in Wichita. I think his legs
a little short on that one, yeah. Didn't quite get it all in.
Brings his total there after those scores to 282.75. Aiden Raffles out of Olathe West, 248.55. Degree of difficulty 2.3 on this dive. Dive, forward somersault with a couple of twists. Happy with those scores. Brings him to 289.95. Spencer Iron out of Blue Valley North now.
This is a tough dive. Back somersault, 2.5 twists.
Second to the last diver in the 9th round. We have 2 more rounds immediately following to determine the champion. Takes his time to get just the right bounce. Does look pretty tough, Coach.
Yeah.
Spencer coming in.
He was oscillating the board. If you do that too many times, the judges take off. So you look at about 4. If they oscillate the board more than 4 times, then before going, then there's a deduction for that.
Ryan Ecton's going to be the last diver in round number 9, just shy of 300 points so far for his first 8 dives.
Good.
That's a 2.0 on the degree of difficulty. Yeah, it pops him up to 332.
Yeah, got a 7 on that. That's
Elliott, 404C, and we're double somersault 10, 2-8 on deck, Bryce in the hole, Henry.
Starting in round 10 now, we go back to Elliott Alvers out of Lawrence Free State. One of the top scorers coming into the final rounds. A second of 3 here in the final round.
a little bit short on his entry.
That had a DD coach of 2.8.
Yeah.
And Elliott's got 394.7 points after 10 dives. Bryce Faulkner now coming in after 9 dives with 263.05 for his point total. Faulkner out of Olathe South. Wait for just the amount of spring. Second legs. Yeah, a little twisty right there at the end.
Yeah.
That's a 2.5 DD.
A little short on his entry.
Just shy of 300 points after 10 dives, 299.3 for Bryce. Henry Cecil out of Shawnee Mission East. Going to be doing an inward 1.5 somersault. Came into this round with a total of 281. Henry Cecil, Lancer of Shawnee Mission East. Nice low splash. Quite the range there, Coach, from
Yeah.
4 to a
Well, you
high
know,
of 6.5.
talking to these coaches, there's, because of COVID and other limitations, there's just been hit and miss practices. I'm fine. So some of the kids have only got in half the practices during the season.
Charlie Matthews
Whoa.
here.
We're liable to see some 9s on that one.
Charlie Matthews. Hey, how about
A
that?
10.
Coach, we've seen our first 10 here in the diving competition today.
And again, you do not see those very often.
Charlie Matthews,
But that was a great dive.
he certainly impressed one of the judges who scored that 10.
He impressed me on that one.
It's going to put Charlie in one of the top 2 scoring positions going into the final dive. He's got to like his chances. Michael Leonard now, Lawrence Free State.
Yeah. Just didn't quite get his legs up high enough.
1.7 DD on that back
This
dive.
is going to be one of his voluntary dives.
Sets him at 281.65 for his point total. Tyler Welch, Shawnee Mission South. First year diver, getting it done for the Raiders. 315, entering his second to the last dive of this competition. Tyler Welch. That was a pretty looking dive there.
Yeah.
Inward dive, 1.5 DD.
5.5. That'll keep him in good stead.
348.05.
A 7.5 and a couple 7s in there.
Braden Roberts, one of the Lancers here out of Shawnee Mission East. Good score entering this round. Hey, got a little bit loose there.
He did what we call a hanging 10. His feet were just a little bit too far over, which throws you off balance.
Got a couple of 5.5s out of that.
Yeah.
Carson Kinch out of Olathe East is up next. 335 points for his first dives of the day. Total of 11 rounds. We're in round 10, about halfway through. Carson Kinch out of Olathe East.
That was a nice dive,
looking
too.
dive.
That's going to score well.
2.2 DD. Came in with 335 point total. This Carson Kinch.
Some eights.
And
eights
how
in
about
there,
that?
7.5s. Yeah.
Carson Kinch got to be happy with that. Markel Russell out of Washburn Rural. Going to be doing a reverse 2 somersaults with a DD of 2.1. As we mentioned, Markel's pretty methodical with his approach. Not in a big rush. Certainly his approach has paid off. He's in the final round here of the Kansas 6A Boys Swim and Diving Championships as we watch the final couple of rounds of the diving.
Oh, just a little bit long.
Just a little bit, almost his best dive of the day. Come in with 272. And a couple of 6.5s out of that. Puts him over 300. Keon Crawford, our chesty lion, up next at the Lawrence High. Back to somersaults, DD at 2. Scores between 3.5 and 5. Gives Keon Crawford a 325 score, 350 score. Tate Harrison now out of Wichita Heights is up.
In this round, it's just don't make a mistake.
Tate Harrison to those scores. It bumps him up to a 365 score with one more dive. We're in about halfway through round 10. 10 of 11 rounds here to crown us a new state champion diver here in Lenexa, Kansas. Glad you're with us on the NFHS Network. Brought to you by A10Varsity.com. Sean Brewer, Coach, Hall of Fame coach, Bruce Bowe with you. Dave Trimble feeding the squirrels over here. Caleb Clayton coming in with 286.
That dive is, do you do that an under 1.5 with a little bit less DD and a better chance of making it, or do you do that double higher DD and hope that you can get enough height to get it in?
Well, risk versus reward. Joseph out of Wichita campus. 1.6 DD. Going to give him a total score of 311.55. So we wait for Aiden Raffles, the Olathe West Owl. He's had a nice championship. Score of just under 300, just under 290, I beg your pardon.
Now, for these divers to qualify, they have to have hit a certain score. Plus, when you add the DD of their dives together, it has to reach a certain point.
That's a 2.6 DD right there on his forward 1.5 somersault and a couple of twists. A little bit lower than I'm sure you would have liked on that one.
Yeah.
Spencer Ian out of Blue Valley North. Their second to the last diver here in our second to the last round. Spencer getting a lot of height there.
That's a very nice dive. That'll score real well. Not a high DD, but
Yeah, there's a 9. Couple of 9s.
Yeah.
Puts a total score, Ryan Spencer, of just under 400 points. One of the leaders in the proverbial clubhouse here. And Ryan Ecton going to finish off the 10th round Acting out of campus in Wichita. And the two divers out of campus here.
Scores.
And a DD of 1.4. His inward dive. Range from 5 to 6.5 brings him up to 355.8.
So sometimes you have to do that harder dive with a higher DD just to qualify to get here.
Elliot Alvers, pardon me, Coach,
That's okay.
just under 400 on his point total. This is going to be his last dive of these championship dives. An interesting bounce there.
I
Did he
didn't
get
quite
it
make
over?
it around, no.
Yeah. 2.6 DD. Let's see how they score. Mr. Alvers.
He's a sophomore. He can come back in next year and get that dive. They failed it. He didn't get all the way around.
One of the top scorers, regardless. You know, and I have a feeling, Coach, that he's still going to be one of the top 8 here with that point total. Bryce Faulkner's up next out of Olathe South. His last dive of the championships here. Nice bounce. Plenty there. 2.1 DD on that reverse 2 somersault. Coming in just shy 300 points. Going to score 322.4. It's Bryce Faulkner's total after these 11 rounds. Henry Cecil from Shawnee Mission East. 2.7 DD on this dive. Trying to make a little move here and pick up a little ground. Sixth bump and down. 2.7 DD there. The back somersault 2.5 twist.
5, 3, 1/2, 2, 4, 2 1/2, 3 1/2, 5.
That's quite the range right there, Coach, from a 2 to a
I know
5.
The twists are so hard to judge because you've got to know where which they're facing. And now here's a young man that nailed the last dive.
Charlie Matthews coming in with a 10. The only 10 that we've seen all day.
Yeah.
What's he going to do to top that?
That's one of the few 10s I've seen in 43 years.
Charlie Matthews. 2.8 on that DD.
Yeah.
Should multiply nicely.
Yeah, 5.5 and 6s.
446.55 for Charlie Matthews. Michael Leonard, Lawrence Free State diver, on for his last attempt. And round number 11 here, the Kansas State Diving Championship in beautiful, lovely Lenexa, Kansas. Yeah, couldn't quite get his legs back up.
Got his feet apart.
3 1/2, 2 1/2, 4 1/2, 3 1/2, 3
See, he had a little twist when he went in, but it wasn't far enough to disqualify him.
2.5 to a 6 range on those scores, Coach.
Yeah,
But, you
they're
know,
not as good as you.
that's now that might be the funniest thing we've heard all day. But, you know, one of the reasons they take out the top 2 and the bottom 2 and average the others. Looks like he didn't quite get all the way twisted around.
Yeah,
Tyler
see,
Welch.
He failed the dive. Yeah.
Going to finish with 248. Still a respectable score. Braden Roberts from Shawnee Mission East up now for his final dive. He come in with 346 points on the day.
Yeah. Now those were both the same dive. The difference was he finished facing over here, away from the board.
Just in. Matter of inches and trying to get that twist around. You said earlier today that it takes an amazing amount of abdominal or, kind of that middle section strength to pull those off.
Lost that a long time ago.
You and me both, my friend. As I reach for my Chick-fil-A sandwich and my chocolate brownie that we've graciously been offered here.
Does he know what he's talking about?
That he does. It's Carson Kinch out of Olathe East.
That's going to score real high for him. He didn't get his legs quite out. Not as high as I thought.
5 and 6.5. Total of about 438.40. Markel Russell out of Washburn Rural on for his final dive. Markel Russell out of Washburn Rural. Markel coming in with 306 entering this final round. And he got a 7 out of that one. 334.70 is going to be his total. Keon Crawford.
A reverse double somersault.
2.3 DD.
Now he went in with his hands up, so there'll be a slight deduction by the judges.
Mr. Crawford ends with about a 339 score for his last dive. Halfway through the final round here. Minutes away from crowning a state champion here in the 6A Kansas State Diving Championship.
Now, there are certain things that the diving referee can call like failed dives. Otherwise, the judges are responsible for knowing what the rule is and deducting the points.
Okay, Tate, 201B back then, height 1.6 on deck, Caleb in the whole object.
Tate Harrison out of Wichita Heights. Into the board, ready for his final dive, his championship. Really happy with that dive.
Probably about 6. We're going from 7 to 5.5.
Coach, you nailed it there. A happy medium at 6. A little delay on the scoreboard. Not to worry, folks. We'll have you covered one way or another. We're going to announce the winners. Not sure if they're going to be the official winners, but by golly, we're going to try. How about those scores?
From 5 to 7 on that.
Tate Harrison finishes with 394. Caleb Clayton out of Wichita Northwest. For his final dive. Caleb coming in with 334 points. I'm going to bump his total up a little bit. That back 1.5 somersault half twist dive. Respectable 5.5 average. Brings him up to 370.10.
Scores are 5 and 1/2, 5 and 1/2, 5 and 1/2, 6, 6, 5 and 1/2, 6 and 1/2. On deck 51-32, team forward 1 and 1/2 somersault, 1 twist free, 2-2 on deck 8 in the whole Spencer.
Jay Joseph out of campus.
5 and 1/2, 5, 4 and 1/2, 5, 6.
Came in with 311. He's going to finish the day with 345.65.
1 on deck, Spencer in the whole right.
Hayden Raffles, just down the road, Latha West High School, home of the Fighting Owls. 22:45 score. Not going to get over the 350, 360 area.
Scores.
Reverse.
4 and 1/2, 3 and 1/2, 4, 4, 3.
Hard dives, coach. You know, reverse 2 somersaults. They're doing it in midair and going into the water. Heck, I can't even do that in my living room. Hurts just kind of watching it. I'm going to have to go to yoga after this. Spencer Iron, Blue Valley North. Got 2 more dives here, 2 more divers to finish up this final round in the Kansas State Diving Championships.
Scores.
Nice dive, not a lot of splash there.
5 and 1/2, 6 and 1/2, 5 and 1/2,
441.50. The Spencer Iron finish with
106C.
441.
441.
So that puts him 5 points behind
Charlie.
Matthews.
And Ryan Ecton is our final diver today. Ryan Ecton out of Campus High.
Front double.
2.9
triple.
BD.
Front
about
triple
that?
somersault. I'm not sure. Yeah.
Wide range from a 2.5 to a 5.5. It's going to put him at 390.6. Well,
10-minute warm-up for swimming. All lanes are open. However, we please ask that you limit the number of kids per
and that's going to do it for the diving championships.
followed by the 10-minute
We're going to wait for the official word,
for the 50 freestyle.
but it looks like
Those awards, we will have
446 is going to end up winning this championship. It might be held by somebody out of Olathe East, but like we said, we'll wait for the official word. Right now, we're going to watch the swimmers have